it growing, enemies arise and hate is flowing, shouting for the sky.
How's it going, RWBY fandom? I'm GamerSix66, and from the title of this video, you already know what I'm gonna be doing. RWBY may be my favorite show, but it most definitely is not perfect, and I want to make sure people who say I think RWBY is the best show on the fucking planet, I really like it. It is my favorite show, but there's just some things that I really don't like that I want to talk about. I got this video idea from about the 5 or 6 times I watched RWBY together with somebody who thought it was terrible. And I'm like, don't worry, it gets really good. And then when it gets good, they're like, wow, that was pretty good, but it took so long to get good. And then I'm like, you know what? That pisses me off. You know why? Because they're fucking right. It takes so long to get good, and it just is horrible. But anyway, I'm just gonna count off a few things I don't like in certain RWBY episodes because they're either cringy or just badly done. But in any case, let's get right into the list. First off, we have the fucking bee's knees remark from Volume 1, Episode 1.
What do you mean? It was incredible! Everyone at Beacon is gonna think you're the bee's knees.
Every time I'm trying to introduce a new person into RWBY, this is the first obstacle to where it's like, are they gonna drop it or are they gonna keep rolling with it? I don't know. That is probably the cringiest remark in the show, and it just fucking, I hate it. As Highway says, they make a nice turnaround with RWBY saying,
I don't want to be the bee's knees, okay? I don't want to be any kind of knees. I just want to be a normal girl with normal knees.
Now I will admit, the first time I watched that episode, that part made me laugh, but going back and watching it 6 to 7 to 8 times, it really just doesn't work anymore, you know? It's just like when someone tells a joke too many times, you know? It's just, I hate it so much. By the way, I don't know how this video is going to be structured. It could be sporadic, it could be fucking, I don't know what it's going to be. I didn't really plan this video out too well. I'm just here to complain. So anyway, let's get into the second thing that I don't fucking like. The second thing in RWBY Volume 1 that I have a problem with is how insanely laid back it is.
Wake up, lazy bud!
Yes, Ren, my thoughts exactly. Now I understand that this is, you know, like, what, the 4th episode? And that's fine, you can have some comedy in there and stuff, but this is just like the first of many episodes of comedic relief. Like, I understand that it's for people just getting into the show, they want to get to know who the characters are. It's just so unbelievably slow moving, it's too laid back, it's trying to be funny, and so it just doesn't work for sometimes people who think RWBY looks really cool from what they've seen from the trailers, and then they get this.
It's morning, it's morning, it's morning, it's morning.
Yes, it's one of the many obstacles that I have trying to get people to get into the show, because it's just takes forever to get there, you know? And that is like kind of a entire thing, like up until, because everyone knows that shit goes down in Volume 3, Episode 6, and that's too far away, dude. I mean, I know every single episode has a contribution to the plot in some way, shape, or form, but they could have done it a little bit faster. They paced it too much, and it just takes so long to get people where I want them to go. Now, don't get me wrong, though. I thoroughly enjoyed well, maybe not every, but most episodes of the show, because when I first watched it, you know, I didn't have anyone else there with me, so I didn't have any need to be embarrassed by some of the lines in the shows, like, fucking this.
The bee's knees.
Anyway, enough about pacing, let's move on to the next thing. A lot of this is gonna be little nitpicky things that I've noticed while watching it over and over again. Now, the first step to being a nitpicky bastard is to complain about line delivery.
That's the relic!
Okay, first of all, no, it's fucking not.
Whatever you do, don't let... Ah! Go.
Okay, so this happens in a lot of shows, and it's just something I've noticed like all the time. They take an unnecessary pause in their sentence for something to happen, and then they finish their sentence even though the person is not there to hear them finish the sentence. I really don't like how Pyrrha delivered that line. It could have been delivered way better, and possibly could have saved some time too. I also forgot to mention, I don't really have the clip right now, but I don't like how Team RWBY decorates their room. It's just some weird 80s montage thing, and it's just, I hate it so much. Now I know this next complaint is actually something that's necessary for the understanding of what's going on, but I don't like how certain shows do this.
Everyone remember their roles? You and I will head to the CCT to check the Schnee records for any other dust robberies or inconsistencies. Seeing as I'm in the family, it shouldn't be a problem.
The White Fang has regular faction meetings to hand out orders and recruit new members. If I can get in, I can hopefully find out what they're planning.
I have an old friend on the shady side of town that typically knows everything going on in Vale. Getting information out of him shouldn't be too hard.
Okay, so you could have just said yes or no when RWBY asked if you remembered your fucking roles. I understand it's for the understanding of the audience of what's going on, but when you look at it from a different perspective and you already know what's going on, why are they explaining their roles to their other team members when they already know what's happening? Episodes 6 and 7 of Volume 2 were probably my least favorite episodes in the entire series, just because most of it is RWBY doing this.
What's the point? Who cares about the dance if Blake isn't going?
Okay, I know some significant events happened during this dance, but I don't think anyone watching cares about the fucking dance.
I still can't think of a way to change her mind.
Guys, trust me, Blake will be at the dance tomorrow.
No one gives a shit! Also, this is the exact reason why Glinda carries a riding crop. Once again, I know it's important for the story, but how can RWBY just stand there and let this happen? Like, especially with her semblance being speed. It just baffles me. This next one is just gonna be me basically bitching about one episode. I enjoyed this episode, it was cool, but it was very underwhelming for a season finale. There wasn't hardly any story development whatsoever except for Adam at the end. And yeah, it's just extremely underwhelming for a season finale. You'd think something more would have happened, but it didn't. Now next off, let me just say, I thoroughly enjoyed the battle between Winter and Crow, but how the fuck does this happen? There's no glyphs being used, even though that's exactly what I say it is, just so people don't bitch about it. But I'm gonna bitch about it because it bothers me a little bit. How is she running up the fucking wall without glyphs? You could visually see the glyphs if there were any. Next, it's just a personal preference because I don't particularly enjoy the music, but I don't like how Volume 3, Episode 4 ended.
Some believe in fairy stories and the ghosts that they can't see.
Oh my fucking god. I hate that ending so much. It just pisses me off. I don't know why. I just don't like the music. I don't like how it was used, just like I May Fall in that fucking Velvet scene, but that's just me. Another quick thing, I don't like how RWBY giggled in this scene. What the fuck was that? Now this last point may come as a surprise to you, but I don't like this bitch. You wanna know why? Because we have to wait so goddamn long to figure out what this means for the plot! But that's about it. In all honesty, Salem actually looks really, really badass, and I'm really excited for October 22nd. Speaking of which, we got that live stream the day before. If you guys want to tune in and join us, because we got that live streaming thing all figured out and whatnot. The whole team's, I'm gonna at least try to get the whole team there. I mean, because that'd be fun, right? You guys can share the hype with us in the live chat, and we can interact with you guys too, so yeah. If you guys want me to do a video similar to this in the future, maybe things I like about RWBY, or maybe more things I dislike about RWBY, or maybe a like versus dislike video in general, go ahead and ask, because, I mean, I don't like complaining about my favorite show, it's just something that I felt like needed to happen, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but whatever, I just felt like I needed to do it. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. I'm GamerSix66, and I will see you next time.